In a secluded region of Texas, archaeology professor Hopper and his dog are searching for a group of hippies. He discovers an abandoned van, along with a journal containing a photo of the owners and detailed notes and drawings about local legends. Nearby, he notices a deep hole in the ground that his dog refuses to approach. There's also a cave up on the hill, so Hopper enters to investigate while his dog continues to bark at it. Using his flashlight, Hopper spots an armed cowboy standing motionless inside the cave. He quickly returns to town and instructs his students Jackie and Taylor to prepare a climbing kit for him. However, he informs them that they won't be joining him as initially planned. Hopper returns to the same area and, as a precaution, secures a rope to a rock and tosses it into the hole. He then heads back to the cave, where his dog still refuses to enter. Inside, Hopper finds the cowboy standing in the exact same spot as before and cautiously approaches him. Suddenly, he senses something like an invisible shimmer in the air. Touching it, he feels moisture, suggesting it's like a transparent wall. 2 days later, Taylor convinces Jackie they should search for their missing professor, who hasn't returned since he left. Initially hesitant due to the danger, Jackie agrees to go. Taylor reluctantly calls their classmate Kara, who has a crush on him. Kara brings her dad's Jeep, along with her little sister Vives, who has a crush on Jackie. The group plans to document their adventure for a school project and social media, equipping everyone with cameras. During the drive to the cave, Taylor explains that Professor Hopper has been fixated on finding a group of hippies lost in the 1970s. When they arrive, the group examines the van and discovers pictures revealing that the missing hippies were actually Hopper's parents, shedding light on his obsession. After taking a group photo, Furby accidentally trips over some worn-out rope tied to the van. They decide to follow it, leading them to another cave entrance. Despite encountering Spider, they venture deeper inside. Jackie descends through a small tunnel and makes a startling discovery. The rope has been cut. Taylor examines the rope closely and concludes that it's too weathered to be Hopper. Jackie surveys the tunnel with her flashlight and realizes its depth, making proper equipment necessary for a safe search for Hopper. The group retrieves all their exploration gear from the Jeep. Since Furby opts to stay behind, they leave him with a radio so he can keep watch. The group begins descending into the tunnel within the cave. Suddenly, a flashback reveals what occurred when Hopper crossed this barrier. As he ventured further inside, the cowboy began to stir, and an unusual light started flickering. Suddenly, Hopper heard eerie noises and a scream, prompting him to flee immediately. Upon emerging from the cave, he was stunned to find that it was already nighttime, despite only being inside for a few minutes. His dog was missing, and upon reaching his truck, he discovered it was covered in overgrown vegetation, and his ID was weathered. Hopper began to explore the area, which was also overrun with plants. He stumbled upon a Jeep with a bag marked as belonging to his student. It appeared that the cave had transported him into the future. Worried about his students, Hopper re-entered the cave, leaving a trail of lights behind him. One of these lights began floating under the influence of the transparent barrier, but Hopper pressed on. Back in the present, the group continues to explore the cave. They hear the same eerie noises Hopper had heard before. The girls, frightened by the potential danger, decide to leave. The rope is suddenly severed, causing her to fall. Taylor tries to catch her but fails, injuring his arm while Jackie hurts her leg. Taylor then attempts to check the second rope, only to find that it has been cut as well. Some of them think Furby did it as a prank, although Vives insists he isn't the type to do such thing. When they try to contact him through the radio, he doesn't answer. Taylor tries using the radio again, and this time, a raspy voice replies, "Help me," identifying himself as Furby. The group is uncertain whether to believe him, leading to an argument that only ceases when they hear another noise emanating from the tunnel. Taylor, Vives, and Kara decide to search for Furby in the tunnel, while Jackie stays behind due to her injured leg. She tries to follow their progress on her phone, but soon the signal is lost. Kara climbs on a rock and finds a broken rope, and when she looks behind, she discovers something that makes her cry. She begs Taylor to take Vives into the other room, and they use a camera to spy on what's going on. To their horror, they see Furby's lifeless body. Taylor points out that Furby's neck is broken, and there's more rope on the ground, indicating that Furby had tried to climb down, and someone cut his rope. He also discovers that Furby's camera is still working, so they decide to watch the entire recording to understand what happened. In the video, days started to pass while the boy waited for them outside. His phone ran out of battery, so when he was bored, he read the journal from the van. The story said a bunch of conquistadors were sent by the queen to find a fountain with magical properties that could heal people or even bring them back to life. Hopper's parents went searching for it when Hopper's sister became ill with cancer. Days continued to pass outside, and eventually, Furby ran out of provisions and water, so he wanted to leave. He believed his friends were dead, but he still needed to find them to get the Jeep key. Furby began descending the hole, and when he crossed the invisible barrier, he noticed the sky was shifting at an astonishing speed. Shocked and unsettled, the group stops the video and discusses what they witnessed. It seems days passed outside, while they've only been there for an hour, so something strange is happening, and they need to leave immediately. Since Kara is the sole uninjured adult, she will be the one to climb out and seek help using an SOS beacon. Kara can sense the air changing, and soon she emerges, only to be stunned by the landscape she encountered. The entire area has transformed into a desolate, eerie wasteland. As a massive sandstorm starts approaching in the distance, Kara attempts to use the beacon, but there's no signal, and decides to descend. When she reunites with the group, she tells them what she witnessed, but they don't believe her, because from their perspective, she has only been gone for a few seconds. Kara insists she was outside for a longer period, and hands them her camera so they can see everything she witnessed. In response, Taylor shows her his own video, proving it has only been a few seconds for them. The group finally stops denying the truth, and acknowledges that time moves faster outside the cave, meaning they have been trapped there for weeks. The flickering light is the sun cycling through the day rapidly. This place is the fountain of youth, because they are stuck here as young people forever. The group is desperate to escape, so Taylor examines Furby's body to retrieve his rope, only to notice something. Furby hadn't landed on top of the radio, yet it is still crushed. They decide to review Furby's video again, and realize that, after the fall, he was still alive but unconscious. Suddenly, a mysterious figure appears off-camera and kills Furby. Now, the group is even more determined to escape, so Kara attempts to climb out once more. While the group wait, Vives re-examines Furby's video and observes that the sky's color is changing. This indicates that each flicker isn't just a day but an entire season. Suddenly, something drops through the hole. It's a sort of advanced ladder. Before they can attempt communication, someone attacks the armored person, a caveman, responsible for the earlier noises. A skirmish breaks out, but the futuristic individual restrains the caveman with a special collar before turning towards the group and removing the ladder. Terrified, the group flees and doesn't stop until they spot some light. They discover a few torches illuminating two bodies on the ground. To worsen matters, nearby cavemen are feeding on the deceased cowboy. Alerted by the group's arrival, Taylor instructs the girls to flee while he confronts the caveman to buy them time. Despite his efforts for a fair fight, the overwhelming numbers knock him down. The girls take cover behind a rock and watch as the caveman rush past. Just then, the futuristic man appears and tests a pool of water at the cave's rear. When he gets a positive result, he pulls Taylor into the water. Suddenly, a caveman arrives, and the man swiftly knocks him down, while Kara watches in astonishment as Taylor miraculously revives, confirming this as the legendary Fountain of Youth. Soon, the other cavemen join in. They manage to dislodge his helmet, making it difficult for him to breathe. Nevertheless, the man successfully places another collar on one of the cavemen. These futuristic devices swiftly render all the cavemen unconscious. Afterward, Taylor attempts to return the man's helmet to help him breathe, but the man indicates he's running out of time. Since the futuristic man can't speak their language, he uses recordings on his computer glove to explain what happened. When the group disappeared, and their families pleaded for help. Several thousand years have passed since then, and Earth has become uninhabitable. Humanity departed aboard a massive spaceship called the Ark, which Kara had glimpsed earlier in the sky. After the recordings end, the man passes away. Taylor instructs the girls to bring Furby's body while he sets out to locate their professor, carrying the cowboy's gun just in case. Delving deeper into the cave, Taylor follows the trail of lights left by Hopper until he comes across drawings on the wall depicting the cave's effect. Taylor encounters an entire prehistoric family, though only the child remains alive. Ignoring them, he continues until he finally discovers Hopper, injured on the ground. In front of him lies the most astonishing sight of all, a sphere that combines multiple layers of time. trapping people from different epochs, including cavemen, the conquistadors, and Hopper's sister. At that moment, the girls start calling for Taylor, so he attempts to bring Hopper back with him, but Hopper believes he won't survive the journey. He keeps the firearm and instructs Taylor to depart without him. Taylor reunites with the group and observes Jackie healing her leg in the water. They toss Furby's body into the fountain, and while they wait, they hear a gunshot. It's Hopper, who exhausted the sole bullet he possessed. Vive starts a fire to slow them down. They return to the chamber with the opening and utilize the man's advanced ladder to begin ascending. Kara reaches the top first, only to find the hole filled with water. When she touches it, a mysterious creature seizes her and pulls her underwater. Taylor attempts to rescue her, but a caveman activates the ladder's butt. Kara is pulled out of the cave by eerie hands that place a peculiar mask on her face. The group believes it's the end, but within moments, strange cables emerge from the water and prevent their fall. Kara, now completely transformed, appears and starts pulling on the cables, dragging the group through the water. Once they're clear, additional cables descend to search the cave. Furby awakens to find himself aboard the Ark. Soon, Hopper emerges beside him, and the group gathers to ensure they're all dressed in futuristic attire as well. Nearby, Hopper's parents also materialize in another pool. Greeted warmly by his now fully healed sister, now united, they can all journey to Mars alongside the rest of humanity to begin and build a new civilization.